When we think about what really builds an empire, one that lasts, one that truly shapes a civilization, it's rarely just about conquest. The foundations are often laid not with stone and steel, but with ink and ideas. And our story starts in a pretty unexpected place, not on a battlefield, but inside a book. It's the personal diary of Zahir Din Muhammad Babur, a Central Asian prince with a legendary lineage descending from both Timur and Genghis Khan. And in this diary, the Babur Nama, he's just as obsessed with the melons and gardens of his homeland as he is with conquest. He's critiquing architecture. He's taking notes on the customs of the people he meets. I mean, this is so much more than a log book. It's a direct window into the mind of the man who would start it all. That's the real question, isn't it? How does the personal reflection of one man, his love for poetry, his memory of the gardens back home, his sheer curiosity, how does that sow the seeds for an empire that would go on to define a subcontinent for centuries? But who was this man named Babur? He was a Turco-Mongol ruler from what's now as Pakistan. And this guy was driven. He had this deep sense of lost glory after he failed to reclaim his ancestral home of Samarkand. He turned his ambitions south towards the incredibly wealthy but pretty politically broken lands of Hindustan. And the military victories, well, they came pretty fast. In 1504, he grabs a key base in Kabul. Then by 1526, he does what many thought was impossible. He brings cannons and firearms to the party, a total game changer for warfare on the subcontinent. And with a much smaller army, he just shatters the forces of the Delhi Sultanate at Panipat. A year later, he secures his rule by defeating a huge Rajput confederacy. Just like that, the land was his. But here's the thing. Winning battles gets you territory. Sure, it gets you power. But that doesn't build an empire. Not a real one anyway. How do you actually govern a vast, incredibly diverse land that you've just taken by force? For that, you need a totally different kind of playbook. And the leader who had that playbook, that was Babur's grandson, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. He came to the throne as a teenager, inheriting this kind of shaky collection of territories. He would be the one, the great architect, who would transform it into a true, functioning empire. And you really have to appreciate the scale of the challenge here. Akbar wasn't just ruling, he was basically building a nation from scratch. He took this chaotic patchwork of feuding kingdoms and forged it into one of the most powerful and organized states on the entire planet at the time. So, how did he do it? With a toolkit of just brilliant administration. He set up a strong central government. He created a systematic tax code that was so efficient, the British actually ended up borrowing parts of it centuries later. He established provincial governments to keep law and order. But maybe the most important thing he did was open up the imperial service to talented people from all backgrounds, Hindu and Muslim alike. He made sure their success was tied directly to the success of the Mughal state. Genius. But Akbar's true brilliance that really set him apart was realizing that political unity means nothing if you don't have cultural understanding. He knew that to truly rule India, his Persian-speaking court had to get to know the foundational stories of the majority Hindu population. And this is where you see his philosophy in action. He commissions this massive project to translate foundational Sanskrit texts like the incredible epic, the Mahabharata, into Persian, the language of his court. This new version, the Razmanama, or Book of War, it wasn't just a translation. No. It was an act of cultural statecraft. It created this shared literary world where Muslim nobles could finally understand the heroes, the struggles, the moral dilemmas of their Hindu subjects. It was a bridge built of words. And once you have that foundation, that administrative stability mixed with this incredible cultural fusion, well, that's when things really get interesting. That's when you get an explosion of art. The intellectual project Akbar started just blossomed into a golden age of creativity under his successors, which brings us to Akbar's grandson, Shah Jahan. By his reign, the empire was at the absolute peak of its power and wealth. And while it was this massed political and economic machine, its most famous legacy, well, that would be inspired by something deeply personal, a monument to his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. He would commission a structure so perfect, so breathtaking, that it has earned a singular place in our global imagination as one of the great wonders of the world. We're talking, of course, about the Taj Mahal, but it's so much more than just a beautiful building, right? It's really the ultimate expression of Mughal power, wealth, and artistry. It's this sublime fusion of Persian, Indian, and Islamic architectural styles that just perfectly symbolizes the empire's identity. And the Taj Mahal wasn't some isolated flash of genius. This whole era gave us the incredible Red Fort in Delhi, the massive Jama Masjid Mosque, and this totally unique style of intricate miniature painting. Even the very idea of the formal symmetrical Mughal garden was this perfect blend of Persian ideas of paradise with Indian plants and flowers. It was all part of this new, distinct imperial style. And yet, for all the magnificent monuments that you can still see and touch, the empire's most widespread legacy might be one you can't see at all, but you can hear it every single day, all across South Asia. It's in the language. So the official language of the Mughal court was Persian. But over hundreds of years, you have administrators, soldiers, poets, all mingling with local populations, and a new language starts to bubble up. It takes the elegant script and a lot of the vocabulary from Persian and blends it with the grammar and the sounds of local Indian dialects. That fusion gave birth to Urdu, which is a major literary and cultural powerhouse to this very day. What the Mughals did really was create a Persianate world in South Asia. For them, Persian wasn't just a language, it was the entire operating system for high culture, for poetry, for government, for how you carried yourself. To speak it, to appreciate its literature, that was the mark of being part of the civilized world. And that idea, that powerful marker of refinement, ended up shaping the identity of the entire region for generations. So we end up right back where we started. The Mughals left behind these magnificent forts and tombs, no question, but they also left a legacy in language, in shared stories, and in a culture built on fusion. It really makes you wonder, which foundation is stronger? Which one truly lasts? The stone or the story? If you want to keep uncovering the hidden connections between our history and our future, hit that subscribe button and join us here on Trail of Wisdom.